Alright, so after reading Our Iceberg is Melting, here are my answers to those questions. The five main characters in this fable. We have Lewis, Alice, Buddy, Fred, and the Professor, also known as our good friend Jordan. Each of them were a little different, and they added a different piece to the puzzle, so to speak. Lewis, obviously the head penguin, was kind of the conservative leader, not do anything too quickly, but be progressive at the same time kind of penguin. Alice was a little more willing to give things a go and also more willing to listen to the people and work with what she has. Buddy was just sort of their good, upbeat, yay person kind of person. Fred took the initiative to bring the problem to the leadership council of the Penguins and knew what was up. And then the Professor Jordan was sort of the brains behind the operation, so to speak, and did a lot of talking that nobody really understood, but also took NoNo out of play. Speaking of NoNo, what part did NoNo play in the story? He was sort of the person fighting against change. He didn't really want to deal with change. He tried to use change against everybody else and scare people away from change. This could, in a real life situation, this could be anybody in any change in housing. I mean, with the idea of needing people to work over breaks like spring break and fall break, that was a change, and easily there could be no-nos in the housing staff that are against that change and spreading all sorts of paranoia and rumors about what could happen when that's the case. And that's just one example of that. On the question 3, forming a group or a committee to analyze a situation. I think it's a good idea to form a group and committee because, I mean, it's 5 minds are smarter than one. I mean, you do one person isn't a committee, but one person has ideas, what they might think are good or what they might think is bad. But when you have a larger group of a committee of different minds, you can bounce ideas off of each other, and people can tell you whether you're on the right track or off the right track, and reveal so much more about the plan, and you have a better chance to get things done. So I think it was a good idea to form a committee by Lewis. How do I reduce complacency and increase urgency within my community? I think you just stress the urgency factor, and that you just need to keep moving forward. We live in a society that if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. There's no real standstill, so you need to stress the fact that we need to constantly strive to move ourselves further forward into progression rather than just be complacent and fall behind. List of strengths of all the committee members. My supervisory staff, Trish and Jacob, I think they both have a lot of strengths. Trish is obviously get stuff done kind of person, really willing to take things on and ask for help if she needs them, but also will get done what she says she's going to get done, and really good at communicating her plan with everybody. Jacob's very organized and likes the logical flow of how things are going to get done, not necessarily on a whim kind of person, but sometimes gets a little stressed, but he uses that stress to his advantage, which I think is a strength. And those can interweb with Jacob wanting to plan something out and Trish getting it done. I think both of those can work together to find a happy medium to get a lot of Lightsy's work done. Managing transitions, you need to explain the purpose of change, give everyone a picture, have a plan. I think transitioning to the new class of CDAs, you have to sort of give them a picture of what you've done, but also give them a picture for what you, they, and housing has in store for the future. So what you think might be in store for them, what you've dealt with, and I think all these type of things are important in transitioning. That it's important to look at what we've done, but also look at what we want to do in the future. And I feel that's a very important part of what this book's about, not just being complacent once again, but moving forward for the best of everybody. And then finally, the 8 steps to successful change and how they relate. We have the create a sense of urgency. That's always obviously important in our work environment, because in the RA role things need to get done fast, and complacency just doesn't work out. Secondly, putting a carefully selected group together, that's important. Oh, just lost my place. Yeah, put together the team. You need a team together to get things done. I think strong supervisors, as well as different minds, maybe not in the supervisor role, make the most effective team. That way you get a wide variety of different people. Next, you have to come up with a vision and strategy for the change and how you're going to get it done. And I think that was demonstrated in the book with setting up the teams, looking for new icebergs. But I think that you can, with focus groups and things like that, that's a real useful way to get things done in housing. You have to make sure you communicate your plans and goals with everybody well, and I think that's somewhere housing can work on, but they attempt to do a good job with, and communicate long-term goals that for housing and for the RA staff. You have to empower others to act. We have a great marketing campaign. We have great marketing campaigns within housing and for external view of housing that really empower people to get involved and be passionate about what they need to be passionate about. You have to produce those short-term wins before you can produce the long-term wins. When you can get people on board to start with, that's a short-term win, and then you can start worrying about the long-term goals. But you have to get people on board with what your goals are first, and then you can never really let up. You have to keep moving forward. Just because you get the short-term goals doesn't mean you can take a break and be complacent. You have to keep moving forward, and with that goes back to that sense of urgency. And then finally, you have to create a new culture. Once you achieve your goals, don't just stop there. You have to make sure those goals are continuously met. Otherwise, people will slip back into the old ways, and complacency sets back in. Always have that sense of urgency. And that's really the end of the questions, and hope to see everybody in a couple weeks.